Isaiah Mike had a great night tonight from the floor. Do you think he's kind of fully comfortable now after kind of getting adjusted to the game?
I don't know fully, but I'd say much more. And I think, I think if you look at the long run for him, I think there's a lot of potential to really grow. But that, having said that, I don't mean like he played great, and he's had some very, very good games for us. Of course, he shot it great too. He shot it great. Probably couldn't have started any more poorly if he tried. He was a little upset with me for pulling him out early, and I just I was thinking, well, I just don't want you to set the Moody Coliseum all-time record for turnovers. I didn't want him to do that, and he got a hold of it, and then was tremendous and confident, and really played great on the defensive end. I mean, I thought he probably, especially the second half, he just seemed like he was flying around. Everybody was, but felt like he was maybe the most.
That being said, you only had 9 turnovers in the whole game. What was the key to the protecting the ball like that?
We do that pretty well usually, except when we went to Memphis. I think we had like 75 turnovers or more. We usually are pretty good about that, and it felt like more because we started out coughing it up a lot. But 9 is a great number. Gosh, I take 9 every single night of the year. 9 is a great number. And if you combine that with a great night rebounding, which we didn't, then you're talking about a whole bunch of extra shots you get to shoot, and that's pretty significant. So we just sort of had a knack. Hopefully, it's because you got to find your way to. I always feel like turnovers are either careless, where they're just kind of not focused, and you just kind of a whatever play, or sometimes they're a bit selfish. Turnovers can be selfish because you're just trying to do too much. Basketball is prettiest when everybody's making a simple play, and a whole bunch of simple plays will add up to some really cool plays. But when the ball's being forced, I think that's when you turn it over a lot. And so hopefully it means we're not forcing it too much, and hopefully it means that we're concentrating pretty well.
Isaiah had a stretch towards the beginning of conference play where he only shot 1 3 in 3 straight games. Since then, he's taken at least 5 in his last 5 games. Has there been more of a conscious effort to tell him to shoot more, or is it just
no, not I rarely ever tell somebody, hey, just shoot more, because that might mean he's just shooting a whole bunch of bad shots. What we try to do, and everybody adjusts, and sometimes it's harder than others, and the game flow, and there's just so many factors in why you got a bunch of shots tonight and why you didn't the other night. Sometimes they scheme it out of you, and they do things that make it more difficult. Sometimes the flow of the game just didn't come your way. But I will say we are trying to put him in position as best we can on a nightly basis to have opportunities.
You all had 18 points in the paint in the second half after only having 8 in the first half. What led to that change?
Well, well, let's give them credit first of all. I think Mike is, Mike was a great NBA coach for years and years, and I can tell you when you're scouting people from a coach's standpoint, you gain a lot of respect when you start watching and you go, they're doing some really smart things, and they do really smart things. They were very well prepared on the defensive end too. Usually he's, a little bit more offensive, and they do some clever things that they figure out how you're covering, and then they counter them. They do a great job of that. But on the defensive end, they came out and they were ready to play. They were prepared, and so when that happens, a coach, he's doing the same thing. A coach on either bench is trying to find, okay, where can we take this game that will hurt them? And we kind of finally found some rhythm in the second half, kind of found some things that we were getting most of what we wanted most of the time, and that would be the answer to it. We kind of found our way into some things that were effective.
Was Jamal McMurray looking for more shots than usual, maybe as a result of Jere Foster being hurt, or was that just his personality and the way the game unfolded?
That's about what he takes. He just made a whole bunch more. And again, it's one of those things I can't tell our guys, hey, just go out there and get as many shots as you can, because then you may just take a bunch of terrible shots. But of course, we want Jamal to get as many good shots as we possibly can. He's such a great shooter. And then people, you know, they'll guard him in different ways, and we've always got to do a good job to make sure we see him when he's open. But it's going to be a game-to-game thing. It is. There's a lot of chess matches going on. The more weapons you have on your team, the harder it is for other teams to really game plan a guy or two guys. And you know, so it's great when I see, you know, I thought Ethan played really well. He got in foul trouble. He played out of foul trouble the whole night. It was great. I thought Nat's effort, energy, got a double-figure night. Missed some good shots for him. Don't even care about that. He was effective. Ferran had a good. I think he scored all his points the second half, and we need him rebounded like crazy. You know, we got to have that. We can't rely on 2 or 3 guys, and we're not, and we're not going to do that. And hopefully, you know, we can get even to, you know, maybe another guy being productive as well. It would certainly benefit us a great deal.
How does Ferran kind of pick up the team's energy on the court when he's in the game?
You know, he's very competitive, which is not to say the others aren't, but and then he's a tremendous athlete, obviously. So he can go block a shot or get a rebound above the rim or get a lob dunk as good as anybody, and those are all plays that people like to see. People love to see block shots. They love to see lobs. You know, they love to see crazy athleticism. You know, they love to see threes, and they love to see great passing, in my mind. Although I think what people don't even know what they want to see more than anything is, and I told our team this after, I think what people want to pay for is something extraordinary and effort. They'll pay to see extraordinary effort, you know, and like at halftime, I wouldn't have paid. I wouldn't have paid to watch us play with that effort the first half. I mean, that's just average at best, and I thought the effort the second half, you saw the crowd get in the game, not just because of the effort, but I think that's what people, deep down, they don't even know it, that's what they want to see. And yes, they want to see some exciting plays, but you'll go, you know, you'll leave your home and say, I want to go watch these guys, because they just got a different grit about them, and that's the kind of team you want to be.
You talked about Ethan Shagwell's performance tonight. What concerned you the most when he fouled out?
You know, experience. You know, that puts a freshman down the stretch for a long time. You know, and experience is a big thing in late games. It's in the beginning of the game. Experience, recognition, adjustments. You know, all the things, the subtle little things that are going on, and all of a sudden, you know, somebody switches out. Do you recognize your next move or not? And so, usually the more you've played, the older you are. You know, I think most coaches would like to feel like the experience, so they just put him out there, and I thought he responded tremendously, and I was proud of that.
Without Dre in the lineup, how does Ferran fit into the bigger picture?
Well, he's probably going to get more minutes. You know. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Dre's loss is not a big loss. It's a humongous loss. Come on, I mean, we saw it. You know, once we got him back, we were a completely different team. I think we won 9 out of 11, and we were doing some things to make us look like, hey, this could be, you know. And his loss is humongous, and his loss is also humongous to him. And so this is a double thing for me to deal with, that a young man that is great as he is in his future and his character, and he's had to sit here and basically watch all but a few games over the last 12 months. That's painful. It's also the fact that had he never gotten hurt in the Wichita game last year and played all last year and been playing all this year, I could promise you we'd have a lot of different results come February of last year and the games that he's not played in. So it's really tough, but that's where we are. You know, we've been dealt that hand, and we've got to. What are you going to do? You know, so we're just going to keep trying to get everybody to just get to step up just a little bit more. We got to keep fighting through it. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. even though sometimes it's easy to do, but it's a big loss. It's a very big loss. But it doesn't mean we can't still find a way.
You've talked all year about how Jimmy Witt does more than maybe what shows up on the stat sheet, and tonight his numbers aren't spectacular. But what did you think of his overall performance?
See, I think they kind of are. You know, the only thing that's not is he didn't score that much. But what, he gets 7 points, but 8 assists, you know, 8 assists and what, 6 or 7 rebounds, and gosh, that's production, you know, that's production. But 8 assists, 1 turnover. This guy's throwing up 10 assists, 1 turnover. I mean, you don't see these numbers very often, and you don't do that by accident. You know what? You're starting to feel the game at a high level. You're starting to get the game as a point guard inside of you. And it's just been so fun because I love Jimmy. I've always loved Jimmy. He's real bright. He's funny. If you're hanging around him. But last year, you know, I gotta say, he kind of frustrated me. He'd take 1 too many dribbles and he'd sort of miss a guy. And it's like, gosh, you know, I wish you could feel this. And you're a point guard, and point guards just feel this. But now look what he's doing. I mean, it's 8-1. It's 10-1. It's 10-2. That's a point guard. And he also, I love it when I'm fortunate enough, I've had a number of them, you know, in order back, Shake Milton and Nick Moore, to name a few, when the point guards they feel what you're seeing, and so sometimes they're, you know, suggesting things that they're feeling on the floor. I love that. That's a higher level, and it doesn't happen all the time in college, and we have one of those guys in Jimmy, and it's fun for me.
Speaking of Dre, have his MRI results came back, and what's the prognosis on that?
Yeah, we'll see. I got to figure out. Hopefully tomorrow, Monday, I'll know a lot more to tell you. I'm not trying to be vague, but I don't know all the details. But it doesn't sound. Well, I know it's not an ACL, and that's really, really good news. You know, I don't know the prognosis yet, and I certainly don't want to speak out of turn. And really, the $1 million question is, you know, does he have a chance to be back or not? I don't know that. But before you kick me out, I do want to talk about the beautiful tie and the nice shoes and all that, because it is important to me. It's important. I'm sure it's important to every single coach. Coaches versus Cancer is a fantastic program, and the suits and the sneakers, and you know, to have awareness. But I do want you to know, I can't help thinking, you know, putting these clothes on, game days are always stressful, and they're always a big day, and yet when you're talking about maybe you can do just a little tiny bit, the coaches can, to do something to help, you know, increase awareness, money, research, saving people's lives, that's great. And I also, you know, every game day, because like I say, they're not much fun, I always think about my parents. And, you know, I think if you had great parents, you always draw strength from them. And I always think about my mom, and I always think about my dad. I lost my mom to cancer, and thankfully my dad's still alive. But that's what makes it, you know, it's not just like a goofy tie and a pin and some shoelaces or whatever. It's a great thing, and it's 500,000 times better than whether we rebounded well or not. So I'm proud of the Coaches versus Cancer organization for all they've done. I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
Oh, one more.
Yeah, I'm in no hurry.
You
know.
reached
It was
the,
an early game. I'm not going to bed for a while.
You
I'm good.
reached the halfway point of the conference schedule next week. How do you see this conference?
I was going to say, really? Wow. Really? Next week we do? How do I see the conference? I see the conference as a giant pain in the neck is what I see it. Honestly, I thought there was a few teams that I knew would be really good. That I knew. The good and the bad news. The great news for the conference is there's a lot of really good teams. A lot. The bad news is we all have to play them, you know, and so I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for where the league is. I have a lot of respect for where the league is going. And it makes it even, you know, that's what's so tough. I mean, it's a daily struggle. If we were, you know, had been healthy for the last 2 years, and we had not been on limited scholarships. Had we been normal, it's still an incredible challenge in this league, and it's getting more. And so that has been, again, it's the good and the bad news. You know, it's great to be in a great league, but, you know, when you've got the handicaps we've had, it's like, man, this is, you know, this makes the challenge just incredible. But, you know, we've managed so far. We're gonna keep fighting it, and there's a lot of really, really tough games ahead. We will have to. We can't have any more injuries. I say we can't. We don't want to. I can tell you that, and we'll just keep chipping away and keep fighting away.
A year ago, you made a couple comments when you were wearing the green ties for the literacy thing. You won a few games, and you said, "Hey, maybe we'll keep wearing these things." You gonna keep wearing the sneakers?
I hadn't thought about that, so I'm gonna give that some serious thought. The only dangerous part, you know, you want to do that for a couple good reasons. You hope you win it, you know, hope it's the good luck, but also to support the cause. But then it's just a little bit of a, well, we lost, so the heck with that. That's the one that is, you know, it's a little tough to swallow that one, you know. So you feel like a little bit of a hypocrite. I'm totally for this organization. I'm totally for this cause. It's big to me. We lose a game, hey, give me a different tie. That's tough. So that's the hard decision right there.